Here's the idea. Let me pitch you the idea, okay? There's a lot of Pokemon that are maybe inspired by the idea of a kaiju. And let's look that up, because that's a word that's thrown around quite a bit. Japanese term that is commonly associated with media involving giant monsters. Monsters! Monsters! Its widespread contemporary use is credited towards this special effects director, Eiji Tsuburaya, okay? And a filmmaker, Ishiru Honda. Okay, I'm getting good at this. The kaiju film genre was created by the Godzilla franchise. That's a great, that makes sense to me. The term can also refer to the monsters themselves, which are usually depicted attacking major cities and battling either the military or other creatures. The other creatures in this case would be Pokemon. So my pitch is that there's a lot of Pokemon that have this like immutable characteristic, right? Where they just look mean. They look like monsters. They've got jagged teeth. They're hunched over, right? Druddigon would be a great example for this, right? Feraligatr, honestly, should have made it to the Twitter post. Look at, we got a beautiful image. This is Ken Sugimori, Generation 1. I want to say the Pokemon Yellow. It's key art of Nidoking for Pokemon Yellow, that game. This gorgeous watercolor style. And you can see the spines on its back are drawn in a way that make this thing look, menacing, right? It's hunched over, it's angry, it's mad. It's got this like snake-like tail. Look at the proportions of the tail. It wraps to the right, it wraps to the left. This thing is a monster, right? Look at this. Okay, this is, I think this is a recreation, like a modern fan recreation of, it could be AI, I'm not sure, of some original Blastoise art. I posted maybe the wrong image, but look at this Blastoise. You don't see Blastoise like this anymore. This Blastoise is a monster. This guy is angry. This thing is a monster. Absolutely. T-Tar is a classic. I don't really know how true this is, but, we say T-Tar, Tyranitar is, based on, it's like the original Godzilla Pokemon, and I think I could get on board with that. It's got a very narrow head, and it gets wider. Its body proportions, it gets pretty thick lower on, right? So another monster Pokemon. And I threw this one in because this is how I feel about it. This is again an early depiction of Kangaskhan. This feels like a monster. This feels like a kaiju. And I guess let me give you a little bit more info here, right? I find that there are maybe two, I think all Pokemon types could be categorized into maybe two categories, right? They could be, so you have like the elemental Pokemon type, and that'll be your, ice type, electric, fire, water, grass, right? You could even say ground, right? Earth. These are the magical abilities that a Pokemon possesses, right? And then you have a lot of types that I find fit into more of a anatomical type of typing. Bug types. If you're an arthropod, right? If you got an exoskeleton, you're a bug, right? You got Pokemon like Crustle. That's a crab. That's a crab. That's not a bug. That's not an insect. It's a crab, and it's a bug type, for example. Swoobat, Golbat. They can fly. They've got wings. They get the flying type. You see what I'm saying? Dragon type. If you're a reptile, you get the dragon type. Why do these Pokemon not get a monster type? Beast type would be another way to categorize these things, right? Beasts, kaiju. I'm talking about angry Pokemon. I think there's a case to be made for the monster type. And something else I haven't even brought up yet is that there are already these egg groups. Every single Pokemon falls under the category of a specific egg group, right? This is basically a hidden type. Maybe it is that archetype. It's some sort of archetype. And basically, this is kind of where the idea came from. Monster is one of the egg groups. And the reason why I'm relating these two types is that a lot of these egg groups are also representative of a specific type. Not all of these, but a lot. there's 3 different categories for water. Fairy is an egg type, an egg group. Grass, dragon, bug. Those are all egg groups, right? And there's a couple other here that are reminiscent of types. The mineral type is essentially the rock type. Field type kind of feels like the normal type. You also have the human-like egg group, which is kind of weird. I wish it had a different name. Ditto gets its own egg group, but what we care about today is the monster type, right? So these are all. Listen, this is doing the sell for me. These are every Pokemon. I'm gonna read these off. Every single one of these Pokemon are already in the code of Pokemon games categorized as the monster egg group. And I think these Pokemon will fit very nicely into maybe a monster typing. The Cubone line, Lickitung, Kangaskhan, Snorlax, Tyranitar, Aggron, Rampardos, Bastiodon. You've got Lickilicky, of course, Aurorus, and then you have and all of those Pokemon are like primarily, or they're only in the monster egg group. And then here's a whole list of Pokemon that are the monster egg group, but they also are in other egg groups, right? These are Pokemon that are a little bit more complex. You got Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle. Kind of funny that all 3 of the Kanto starters are just fit nicely into this. You've got the Nidoran line, Slowpoke, that whole line, Rhyhorn, Lapras, Chikorita, Totodile, not Cyndaquil. You've got Mareep, Slowking, Trico, that whole line, Mudkip, Whismur, Tropius, Turtwig, Gibble, Snover, Axew, Druddigon, Helioptile, Tyrant, Bergmite, Salandit, Turtonator, Drampa, and Choodle. And when I am looking at this list, I do think a lot of these Pokemon feel like they could be dragon types, but they're not dragons necessarily. I mean, you have Charizard, that is a dragon. But maybe a lot of these Pokemon that have like dragon features or dragon aura really should just have a new type, right? I mean, Pokemon like Rhyhorn and Rhydon having ground and rock, easily one of those types could be swapped out with something more dynamic, something more interesting. I really think the fairy type, when it was introduced, a lot of people maybe think it's a little silly or one note, but it does add a lot of complexity and a mystery behind whatever Pokemon gets that typing, right? There's a mystical, element. Yeah, I think Meganium, you could make a good case to say like, oh, it's like a reptile, it's like a dinosaur, but it's not a dragon. And I would concede that if it maybe got something else that's interesting. And I think the monster type would fit it quite nicely. Same thing with Feraligatr. Doesn't necessarily need to be a dragon, but the monster type would be pretty cool. I'm getting a lot of jokes in the comments right now. People like, wouldn't they all be the monster type then? Aren't they all, pocket monsters? And you're missing the point. People said Pikachu, right? Pikachu should be the monster type, right? No. Pikachu's not a monster. Pikachu is a mouse. It's just a mouse. Here's some other ideas. New Pokemon types that should exist. Earth. I don't really agree with that, because we've already it's already been separated enough into grass and ground and rock. I don't think we need that. Beasts, though. He said it right here, Mr. Don Julio the Wicked. Oh my God, the beast type. He beat me to it. That's honestly sick. Oh, okay. Oh no, I get. No, okay. This is a joke. This is a Yu-Gi-Oh. Damn, I got played. Earth Beast, Light Wind, Elemental Heroes, and Dark Magicians. That's pretty sick. I don't know. I think whether you want to call it beasts, monsters, something, there's something to be said about this. Some other Pokemon that kind of feel like they fit into this cat. And here, okay, this is another idea. Maybe what I'm actually imagining, because this occupies a lot of my brain waves. Maybe what this actually should be, maybe there should be like not a third type, but another sub-classification, right? You've got basic types right? And those are the elements, right? Yeah, maybe this is for Generation 10, right? Nidoking is poison and ground. It wields the earth, it wields toxins, but then it's got this third attribute, let's say. Think of it like Pokemon have nature. Every Pokemon has a nature, right? Which influences their stat distributions, right? Every Pokemon has an ability, right? That gives it an advantage in battle. Maybe there needs to be a new default stat, right? That's separate from type. And maybe this is where the bug type goes, right? Maybe there's no more bug type. There's no more dragon type. But these are instead, maybe you could call them archetypes. Oh, I kind of like that. That was off the dome. I kind of like that. I really do kind of like that. The archetype, right? So you have types. Now you need archetypes. What is the archetype of these Pokemon? They are monsters.